Hello everyone, this is Werner Herzog. Welcome to the first episode of my brand new podcast, Monstrous Indifference. The title is a reference to something I said once about how nature shows monstrous indifference to man. It is something I truly and deeply believe. I was inspired to do this podcast by Marc Maron, the host of the What the Fuck podcast, on which I was a guest. I deeply appreciate Marc Maron bringing me on to the What the Fuck podcast. It was an enjoyable experience that I felt I would replicate in every way that I could by starting a podcast of my own. One thing that Mr. Maron taught me about podcasting, because I am a film director, I know how to direct films. I've directed many fictional films as well as documentaries. Podcasts, on the other hand, not a medium I'm so familiar with. And so I asked Mr. Maron when we finished recording in his garage as he was playing on a guitar some music which I could not identify. He said, "Werner, what you must always do when you start a podcast is lock the gates." So I am outside of my home, standing at the gateway to my home, and I am prepared to close and lock it. An act of futility which is simply a gesture one does to keep out the encroaching forces of nature, forces which can never be stopped, never be prevented from coming in and killing us all, ending the lives of all humankind. But I have taken it upon myself, because of Mr. Maron's advice and as a beautiful gesture toward him and to you, the audience, to lock these gates, because that is what he said to do. There, I have locked them. In our next segment, I will do my interview. As I return to my home to do my interview segment, this is a good opportunity to talk about our sponsors at stamps.com. Futility. This is what we feel from nature. This is what we feel from the impending reach of death, which will never stop. If you look an animal in its eyes, be it a small one or a large one, whatever the size of the animal, you can see its innate, built-in, instinctual desire to kill. Likewise, it is futile to go to the post office and stand in line to ship packages. All life is futile, but stamps.com makes things easier. So go to stamps.com right now and use the promotional code MONSTROUS. You will get a discount for a scale and for a subscription to stamps.com. I have returned to the sitting room in my home, and it is now time for my interview segment. I'm sitting in my favorite chair here in my sitting room, and I wait ever patiently for the ghost of Klaus Kinski to materialize here in my home so that I may speak with him. We may fight. I may be forced to shoot and kill him again, I do not know whether a ghost can be killed, but I feel it is my duty and responsibility to document these things and bring them to you, my podcast audience. And so I sit here in my sitting room. When the ghost of Klaus Kinski appears, then we will have an interview. I will ask him many questions. Perhaps we will revisit a little bit about what happened on the set of Fitzcarraldo, one of my films, in which he was the lead. I will return with recording when he has appeared. Until then, I suppose we'll wrap up this first episode of Monstrous Indifference. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Please go visit our sponsor, stamps.com. Right now I'm going to go call Marc Maron to find out if I should unlock the gate. And because this is what I believe occurs on every podcast, I will now play some guitar for you. Boomer lives, but nature will take him soon.